ABC Monday, The Bachelorette is back. Katie's journey to find love begins, and the drama starts night one when one man arrives in a box. Who is this mystery man? Is he, pardon the pun, the whole package? And the biggest question of all, have we seen him on a season of The Bachelorette before? And this season, our Bachelorette has two friends on the inside. Bachelor Nation fan favorites Tashia and Caitlin stepping in to help make sure Katie knows who's there for the right reasons and who should take a moment and say their goodbyes. The Bachelorette premieres Monday, 8/7 Central on ABC. Hey there, are you a non-black person that wants to be an ally but haven't seen Babs? Me too. How about Love Jones? Eve's Bayou? Are you a black person who already knows and loves these films? Well, have we got the perfect podcast for you. Adventures in Black Cinema with Desmond Thorne.
You can join Desmond on a journey through a new black film every week and learn about how the classics, the hidden gems, and the ratchets of black cinema impact the culture and his own personal film nerd life. This short and sweet film podcast also features fun segments, games, and guests from both the film and comedy world, so you're always in for a treat.
Adventures in Black Cinema. New episodes every Tuesday on all major podcast platforms. Executive produced by Amanda Seals.
Starburns Audio.
Coming to you live from our houses in Los Angeles, California, it's Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone, your comedy field guide to life. Tonight, they're silent, they dress in black, and they can kill you. With laughter! I'm talking about Mimes. Does Paula have what it takes to make it as a practitioner of the fine art of pantomime? Well, I mentioned that they don't talk, right? So that kind of answers our question. Nevertheless, we've got Daniel Straus, a.k.a. Pierre the Mime, here to talk to us with actual words on our career corner. Plus, last week you heard us dish about our nasty and unusual food habits. This week, it's your turn on our smash hit new segment, True Confessions, Food Edition, Listener Edition. I'm Adam Felber, the man who carefully tiptoes through the conversational minefields, walking into the wind, pulling myself forward on an invisible rhetorical rope, gathering a bouquet of meticulously chosen imaginary verbal blooms to lay at the feet of my gracious host. And now, please welcome the woman who gratefully picks up those notional flowers and eats them like a bag of invisible Doritos. It's Paula Poundstone.
Hey, guys. How are ya? Hey, Adam.
Welcome, Paula.
And thanks to tonight's house band, returning champion Broadway pianist Zack Ford from Washington, D.C.,
Woo,
our
Zack.
nation's capital.
Yay.
Nice.
Woo.
Hey, Paula, what's new in Poundstoneville?
Well, you know, Adam, my worm farm is going so well. And Captain Crinkle, Bonnie Burns, my manager of, 26, 27 years.
Been a long time.
It's been a long time. We worked together for a long time. She suggested that I make videos about my worm farm that we could put up on TikTok, which I am enthusiastic to do. I mean, I'm learning how to do it. I'm not skilled, but, walking the viewers through the process. But she keeps telling me that she looks at TikTok videos of somebody with baby goats, and she feels that the baby goats, the guy, he shows his baby goats every day. So couldn't I show the worms every day? And I got to tell you,
boy.
I love my worms, but
Sure.
they're not baby goats. The worms aren't doing...
They're really not.
No, they don't do something different every day. They don't jump on a trampoline. They don't butt. They just slither and eat, and they're under the dirt mostly. And they don't like light, so when you show them, they slither out of the way right away. So,
and as much as your fans love you, they're not going to form an emotional attachment to the worms as though they're baby goats.
No, it's not the same. Like, you don't have a worm calendar, just for example, right? Whereas you might have a baby goat calendar, and that would fly off the shelves at Christmas time. You are not going to have a worm calendar. You know what, Wendell? Write that down. Write that down, worm calendar. God, I just had a great idea for merchandising. Write that down. Write that down.
Did you? Did you?
Yeah. Yeah, I did. So anyways, but did I tell you that I can hear them? I did tell you that, didn't I?
I don't know if you did.
Yeah.
I might not have been listening.
More than likely. I can put my head into the worm bin and hear them. And I told this to Wendell, by the way, and he goes, you cannot, because he's so positive. I said, I hear them eating, because I do. I hear them eating. And he said, what does it sound like? And I said, which is exactly what it sounds like.
It's okay.
Yeah, you're not going to get that from a baby goat. Wait a minute. Oh, my God. Poundstone Industries is exploding with ideas and creativity. I don't know. It's something about the possibility of things opening up again. It's a overcharged spring. Don't you feel that?
Yes, it is. It's everything is blossoming, from ideas to plants to animals, and I really think this worm thing is really going somewhere for you. Now, let me change the subject. You and I have a running bet.
Oh, yes. Okay, listeners, I'm asking that anybody who played Oliver in a children's or school production of the great Broadway musical Oliver, the Who Will Buy song.
Yes.
The other day, I was doing a very labor-intensive physical labor job with a team of people. And we play, music while we're working together. And I started singing just, the Who Will Buy song. And somebody goes, put that on. It's so uplifting. It's part of this theme of,
It is uplifting. But, Paula, we made a bet.
Yeah, we did. We made a bet.
And the bet was this. The bet was, you bet that there were at least a few of our listeners out there who played Oliver in school or as a youth and would thus be willing to let us know and send us in a snippet of them singing Who Will Buy.
Yeah.
And I said, Paula, I don't think we have that many listeners who actually had the starring role in Oliver. And you bet eventually that there were at least 2 listeners who were going to do this. And lo and behold, at the end of week 1, a listener wrote in and gave us a snippet of him singing Who Will Buy. And I thought I was on my way to defeat in this little bet between you and me.
And then we've sort of plateaued.
Yeah.
We haven't had any more. We've had no more recordings of Who Will Buy.
Yes.
It's a little bit like the vaccination rollout. It started with long lines, and now, we're having to beat the bushes to find people to please get vaccinated. And by the way, people, please get vaccinated.
Please get vaccinated.
But so I know there is at least one more person who
we plateaued at 50%.
Yeah.
You
guys, come on. I know
2.
there's at least one more man who could sing a little bit of Who Will Buy. Just record it on your computer or your silly, stupid phone or something, and then just send it in to us.
But we want to stress, no cheating. Unless you actually played Oliver in a production of Oliver, it doesn't count.
Yeah. I don't want to hear somebody that clearly played Bill Sykes pretending that they played Oliver.
Because we'll know.
Yeah.
Oh, we will know.
And there better not be one fucking Annie song in any of the recordings that get sent to us, because I can tell the difference between Annie and Oliver. In fact, I'm a professional. I'm often called in to praise recordings and to say, is that Annie or is that Oliver? And I can tell the difference.
So if you are out there, and
this wonderful feeling.
Oh my gosh! Is that Amy Klobuchar?
I'm so high, I swear I could die.
Oh, you know what? If you had Amy Klobuchar, Senator, if you had sung that song during your presidential campaign, you would have gotten in. That was phenomenal.
I was Oliver in my private school production. I just didn't have a chance to record this for you, so Paula won the bet. Yay!
No, Amy Klobuchar, I'm hereby not believing you, Senator. You're a guest on the show. I don't think you were Oliver, and I would defy you to sing more of that song.
No, I was. The girls played the boys' parts.
Oh, what school was that, Amy?
It was a private girls' school.
What private girls' school, Amy Klobuchar?
It was a Minneapolis Catholic girls' school for girls. Preparatory girls' school.
It was preparing for being a girl?
It was the college preparatory Catholic private girls' school.
Yeah.
For young presidential candidates. God bless America.
Boy, that is...
Amy Klobuchar, you in fact went to public school, didn't you?
It's beautiful in Minneapolis. I love America.
Yeah. A lot of times, some of our early life experiences we can block out. And apparently Amy blocked that she had attended public school.
As opposed to a Catholic girls' school, yes.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of school...
Oh, fish swimming schools, and it's time to call to order the last edition of the Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone Book Club Moby Dick edition.
Oh, I am so excited.
Yeah, here we go, everybody. Well, this is big news. Will the club come to order, please? This week, we read chapters 126 through the end, wherein things start to look really bad for what I now call the Pequod Squad. Ahab's obsession has taken over the crew.
Pequod Squad.
The bad omens start piling up. They make a lifebuoy out of Queequeg's coffin. That doesn't seem too dire. They refuse to help ships that have lost people in encounters with Moby Dick. And then it happens. They sight and hunt the white whale. There's one bloody, thrilling encounter, and then another bloody, thrilling encounter. And then on the third encounter, just when you think all hope is lost, the ship goes down, and everybody dies except Ishmael. The end.
Do you know why Ishmael doesn't die? Do you know why he's the only one who doesn't die?
Somebody has to write the book.
No, he got vaccinated. That's why.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yes, and if you're listening out there, if you want to be able to survive whale attacks, get vaccinated.
Yeah, sometimes we have new listeners, and thank you, I hope so, and maybe they're not familiar with the book club. The whole podcast is, of course, not a book club, but we did start a book club a while ago, and the first book that we chose was Moby Dick.
We aimed high.
So we've been at it for quite a while, but just to catch people up, today we have completed reading Moby Dick. I hope listeners read along with us. And so I thought that I would give people a summary of how the Moby Dick portion of our book club has gone.
Okay.
Just sit right back and you'll hear a tale of a young book club that started on a podcast that nobody seems to love. The first book they chose was Moby Dick, a classic of the ages. 4 members tried to read the book. It was 655 pages, 655 pages. Tony wouldn't read at all. She kept getting censured. If not for the summaries of the president pro tem, she wouldn't have known a word. She wouldn't have known a word. Paula listened to the whole book twice. The others used cliff notes. They offered up lame excuses, like didn't know it would be about boats. The next book will be shorter, and with a little bit of luck, there won't be any penis suits, and it won't be eat, pray, fuck. There.
It won't be
Eat, pray, fuck.
Wow.
It won't be eat, pray, fuck.
Yeah.
It won't be eat, pray, fuck. Pray, fuck.
All right, Paula, thank you very much for that.
That was great.
That was fantastic. What do you think of the end of Moby Dick?
It was good.
And if you're just joining our book club, this is the kind of stuff that you can expect week after week.
This is kind of in-depth analysis where we really break things down and look for that deeper understanding. What'd you think? It was good.
No, seriously, how did it strike you, the end?
The end was my favorite part of the book.
Because you got to stop reading?
No, because it was very action-filled, and there was very little description of, whale parts. Because for those of you who didn't read the book, or perhaps are new listeners, Herman Melville had a tendency to go on long whale descriptions.
Yeah.
And that could kind of slow the action down a bit.
Oh, absolutely. He got into the gory details, like literally the gory details. I like the end of the book, too. You know what really struck me about it is that in those last 10 chapters or so, really the last 20, not only does Ahab begin to take over the entire boat, and his obsession takes over everybody's life, he also takes over the entire book in that Ishmael disappears. I don't think the word I is used at all in those last few chapters.
No.
If Ishmael's having an experience different than the rest of the crew, you don't read about it until he's the only one alive.
Well, no, in fact, at the very end, he reveals that he had been on Ahab's boat. He was one of the rowers on Ahab's boat because they go out on these smaller boats to catch the whale. And the other thing is, never again a reference to Queequeg, his friendship with Queequeg, sad to see Queequeg go. Nothing. No, gee, this was a sad day. It was so difficult. Nothing. And by the way, the more conversations between Ahab and Starbuck, the more it felt like, wow, this is the Republican Party.
Yeah, it's a highly dysfunctional party with a couple of reasonable people inexplicably letting themselves be led by a madman.
Yeah.
Who is clearly crazy. But here's my question, then we're going to throw it over to our friends. Is that a flaw in the book? I mean, there's a part of me that really wanted to hear Ishmael's description of what things were like and his reaction to losing all his friends and somehow bearing witness to the death of this giant crew. Instead, the boat goes down and Ishmael mentions that he got rescued. And that's it. Book over.
Yeah. He may have been on a deadline.
It is possible. You think he would have edited out some of the earlier stuff, though, if he was on a deadline. Bonnie Burns, how you feeling about that up in the Simi Valley?
Oh, my gosh.
Again, for any new listeners, this kind of analysis is really characteristic of our show. Excellent.
Yeah. Well, okay, here's the thing. Paul always accuses me of not a long attention span, but I have a lot of things to do. So I got like partway through the book, and then I felt like, okay, I get the gist. I know where this is going. So I watched the movie. Okay, I've been keeping that from you. But anyway, here's the thing. The movie starred Gregory Peck as Ahab.
This is a book club. This is a book club. Book
Okay.
club. Book.
I just want you to know this. It was directed by John Huston, and the screenplay
Doesn't
was
matter.
by
It's a
Ray
book club.
Bradbury and John Huston.
Doesn't matter.
But I just have to ask you guys this. So in the movie at the end, Ahab is lanced to Moby Dick.
Do you want to know who the makeup
And
artist was in the book?
No. I just want to know. And by the way, the movie is rated like 7.1. It got 83% on Rotten Tomatoes. Is
It's a
that
book
what
club.
happened
Book-
in the
book-
end of the book?
Book club. It's a book club.
So you're saying you don't know what happened at the end of the book, and you want us to answer for you whether that is similar to the movie?
I'm saying, did the book end the way the movie did?
You know what? It's a book club. It's a book club. Bonnie, let me ask you something.
Was
Bonnie,
there
wait,
a
this is
scene
important.
where Ahab was lanced?
Listen, this is very important. I have a very important question. If they had done a lot of merchandising, right, with Moby Dick, and say they had made like a Moby Dick pajamas, say a Moby Dick sleeping bag, right? Would you say that a night sleeping in your Moby Dick pajamas in your Moby Dick sleeping bag was the same thing as reading the book? It's a book club. It's not a movie club. It's a book. Book. I would like to censure Bonnie
Paula,
Burns.
I
would like to censure Bonnie
I
Burns.
second the motion. Let's take a vote. Motion on the floor to censure Bonnie Burns.
Yes.
All in favor say aye.
Aye. Tony?
Nay.
Well, because I am the president pro tem, I have the tie-breaking vote.
God damn it.
Motion is carried. Bonnie Burns has been censured.
Lose a leg, lose a leg, lose a leg.
Oh, lose a leg, lose a leg.
All right. So Bonnie's analysis wasn't so much an analysis, such as just a kind of a pathetic plea to find out if her movie ended the same way as the book.
Yeah, no.
Tony Anita Hull in Sherman Oaks, I'm sure you have deeper insight into the end of the novel.
I do. This is how I'd like to sum it up. Just another P-Quad squad effort.
Bonnie's criticism of the book is that the popcorn wasn't very good.
Just like the Pequod, our club has met such an ignominious end here at the end of the book.
What did everyone learn from the book?
Well,
What did everyone learn? What was the takeaway lesson?
the takeaway was don't ask Tony Anita Hull to read anything because it ain't going to happen. The whole thing for me was more like a trust fall, and what I discovered is I can't trust any one of you. I listened to the whole book twice, for heaven's sakes, just to go back. It's like I went up Mount Everest and then I went back down so I could walk back up with you guys. And, oh my gosh, you're laggards, every one of you.
Well, I jumped back off the Cliff Notes and read the rest of the book. So
Yeah.
I feel like I got the end of it. I'm glad I skipped those middle parts because they were dull as dishwater. And did I get anything out of it? As Bonnie says, beautiful writer, interesting story, a real cool meditation on how alone we all are and the isolation and obsession and all that stuff. And is it my favorite novel ever? It's not one I'm going to do again. It's truly great in parts and it's really uneven. It's a giant, glorious mess.
Paula listened to the whole book twice. The others used Cliff Notes. They offered up lame excuses, like didn't know it would be about boats. All right. Okay, well, maybe next week we could choose a new book. How about that?
Yay!
That's a great
Cannot
idea.
Wait.
And with that, I am going to call this session of Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone Book Club to a close. Moby Dick is done.
R.I.P. Moby Dick.
Long live the next
R.I.P.
book.
Oh, that's a little sad.
Sad from the person who wouldn't read the book and kept bitching about it. Oh, for heaven's sake.
All right, Paula, do you have a vocabulary word for us this week?
Adam, I have a word. It's captious. It's an adjective that means tending to fault or raise petty objections. Here, I'll use it in a sentence. The entire restaurant staff dreaded the arrival of their exhausting, captious Friday night regular who always sat in the corner. Captious. It's a wonderful word. It belongs in the vocabulary song. Hold it. Wait. Let me get my equipment. Sorry, hold on. Oh. This week's word is captious. It's an adjective that means tending to find fault or raise petty objections. The January 6th commission is too soon. It's too late. It's too broad. It's too narrow. It'll interrupt Trump's erections. Last week's word was rebarbative. It's an adjective that means repellent or irritating. You're very cute except when you're regurgitating. The week before that, the word was aperçu. It's a noun that means a comment that makes a clever or entertaining point. A justice system that keeps people in prison for weed stinks up the joint. Going back before that, the word was militate. 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 The show can't go on if I keep saying militate. It's a verb that means be a powerful or decisive factor in preventing something. The tunnel is blocked by a giant dumpling. And not long ago we had proscribe. It's a verb that means officially forbid something. Let's have no more, not even a little bit of plastic packaging. Let's never forget Gallimaufry. Gallimaufry, which I pronounced wrong until nobody James Hyder corrected me. It's a noun that means confused jumbler medley of things. Hodgepodge, who's podge, hodgepodge. Adam doesn't think my song is replicable, replicable, replicable. But I do, I do, I do, I do.
I do.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Woo!
Wow.
Bravo.
Interesting little
That's
variation
awesome.
on the Glock part at the end there, Paula. That was really nice.
Oh, thank you very much. I thought you were going to criticize it, and I was going to call you a captious bastard.
Right, but I didn't.
No. So thank you very much. So I responded appropriately.
Yes, indeed, you did.
Appropriately.
I mentioned how you might have responded had I been a captious bastard. Coming up, the great mime master Jean-Gaspard Dubourau once said, "We'll learn even more wisdom like that when actual mime Peter Daniel Straus joins us for Career Corner." That's next on Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone. Well, spring is here, summer's just around the corner. Why not gift your young innovators with super cool STEAM projects to celebrate the end of the school year? With a KiwiCo subscription, your child gets a new crate full of fun, science, and art projects every month. And I do want to say, as I've said before, they are fun. I've done a bunch with my daughter, and she really loves them. The climbing puppet, the walking robot, all those little things we've made. I even have fun videos, which I'm not going to share with you because I value her privacy.
Cultivate your child's natural creativity and curiosity with new hands-on projects every month. They'll explore new worlds and rediscover familiar ones, even without leaving home.
As a parent, it's hard to find creative ways to keep the kids busy and screen-free while stretching their brains, especially right now. So KiwiCo does the legwork for you so you can spend more quality time tackling projects together. Everything is shipped right to your door in an attractive cardboard crate, and there's no commitment, so you can pause or cancel anytime.
With KiwiCo, there's something for every kid, or kid at heart, every month. Get your first month free on select crates at kiwico.com/Paula.
That's KIWICO.com/Paula.
Is there something interfering with your happiness? I think so. Or preventing you from achieving your goals? You know, today I was sifting a litter box, and from out of nowhere, I started thinking about the movie Brian's Song, and tears came to my eyes. I think it's just a volatile time. BetterHelp will assess your needs and match you with your own licensed professional therapist.
I've never seen Brian's Song, but you can start communicating in under 48 hours. This is not a crisis line. It's not self-help. It's professional counseling done securely online. There's a broad range of expertise at your fingertips, and service is available for clients worldwide.
You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your counselor. I keep thinking about Brian's Song. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions so you won't ever, this is my favorite part, you won't ever have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy. This may be one of the only positive things that have come out of the pandemic.
I agree, because even comfortable waiting rooms can be uncomfortable.
Oh, it's awful.
BetterHelp is committed to facilitating great therapeutic matches, so they make it easy and free to change counselors if you need to. It's more affordable than traditional offline counseling, and financial aid is available.
BetterHelp wants you to start living a happier life today. You deserve to live a happier life. Visit their website and read their testimonials that are posted daily. Here's one from Brian Thompson. She is very professional. She wants to help any way she can, and she's very good at what she does. That's not about me, by the way. That's about Brian's therapist.
Visit BetterHelp.com/Paula. That's better HELP, and join the over 1 million people who have taken charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional.
Mental health is health. In fact, so many people have been using BetterHelp that they are recruiting additional counselors in all 50 states. This podcast is sponsored by BetterHelp, and our listeners get 10% off their first month at betterhelp.com/Paula. On this day in unremarkable history, Herman Melville said, "Dad, don't cut out the part where the guy wears the whale penis as a suit. It moves the story forward."
And we're back. So, Paula Poundstone, if I may call you that.
Please.
Restrictions are loosening up. You're starting to book shows again. And yet, once you resume regular performing, there's still a part of the job you're uncomfortable with. Is that right, Paula Poundstone?
You know, Adam, as you know, I've always loved being a stand-up comic. The only part I do not like is the endless self-promotion. I'm going to be at such and such a theater on blah, blah, blah day. Remember when U2 played somewhere and they didn't even announce it? They just snuck in and played a concert and thousands of people showed up? What if I just haven't found the right form of expression for my art? Like, I wanted to learn mime when I was in high school. What if that's it? What if instead of begging people to come see me Friday, June 11th at the Moss Art Center in Blacksburg, Virginia, I could never say one promotional word about my mime performance and just step out onto a stage in front of a loving audience who just sensed I was going to be there and pretend to eat soup.
Wow, eating pretend soup. Paula, it's uncanny. This is going to shock you. Are you ready? Are you sitting down?
Yeah.
We have a very special guest here who can help lead you on your silent way.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, it's time for Career Corner, where we learn about the wide world of jobs. Would you like to be a fireman? How about a train engineer? Maybe you'd like to make a living as a spot welder. What can you do with your life? Career Corner has the answer. This week, let's explore a career as a mime. Here to help Paula discover if she could cut it in the stressful, high-stakes world of miming is Peter Daniel Straus. Peter is the man behind Pierre the Mime. He's a film and television actor, has been a Ringling Brothers clown, and he's been featured stomping the boards at the Metropolitan Opera and on The Late Show with David Letterman. He's also the illustrator and co-writer of Menopop, a menopause pop-up and activity book. Please welcome Peter Daniel Straus.
Welcome. What are the odds of you being here when we were just talking about the potential of me being a mime? How long have you been a mime, Peter?
I started being a mime officially when I was 12. That's when it started.
Wow.
So that would make it just shy of about 1,000 years.
And when did you come out to your parents with that? Mom, Dad, are you sitting down?
They did accept me. I have very understanding parents.
That's a beautiful story.
Very supportive. Yeah.
I want to just a quick full disclosure here. Peter was booked on the show by Tony Anita Hull, but Peter and I, back in the 90s and early ooze on the Lower East Side of Manhattan, performed at multiple comedy shows together.
Yes. Which I love.
We're friends from way back. Yeah.
Adam, you were a very funny man, and you still are.
It's so...
I feel like I've lost a step, but you're a mime now. Paula, Go ahead. Grill my friend Peter about miming.
I'm so happy to be the reason for the two of you coming back together. Peter, do you have formal mime training?
I do. Like I said, like when I was 12, I had my first experience like studying mime. And then...
When you say studying, what do you mean?
Somebody taught me the skills involved in telling stories with my body. That's basically what a mime is. A mime traditionally is silent and tells a story, however complicated or simple it is, with their body. So I learned how to isolate parts of my body and how to...
What do you mean, isolate?
So if you were to put your hand in the air, just hold it there.
Yeah,
you didn't
I'm holding
move it. You're just holding it in the air. And if you were to move the rest of your body a little bit side to side, but keeping your hand exactly in the same spot, that would be called an isolation.
Oh, it's sort of like a timeout for a body part. So you say, like, you go to your room.
Exactly. Yes.
Wow.
Yeah. And you think about what you've done, hand, if your hand happens to still be in the air.
Yeah.
Now, if your hand is actually in the air right now, like I described, and you were moving your body a little bit side to side, you would actually... Yeah. This would be the beginnings of what we would refer to as doing the box, which is a mime.
Because that's what I'm doing right now.
Right? And if you put your other hand up in the air and in the same plane as if it's on an invisible window.
Oh, my gosh.
And if you want to add to the effect by spreading your fingers and move a little bit side to side, up and down, but don't move your hands at all.
Oh, my God.
You are doing, well, that's actually a wall. The box comes later.
I never realized that part of doing the box was moving the rest of your body while keeping your hands fixed in place. And now that makes so much sense.
It makes so much sense.
Like, it looks like I'm in a box now because I'm leaving my hand somewhere but moving my body a little bit.
Adam, nobody puts you in a box.
It's amazing.
All right, so that is such a cool exercise. Yeah. By the way, listeners, I know you're all with your hands in the air like me right now, rocking side to side in your chair. But are there other little steps like that, little exercises like that to isolate other body parts?
Well, depending on how much of your body is, you're able to move, you could use every inch of yourself. So, if you're doing, say, these are classic mime illusions, the box, pulling the rope. Mm-hmm. You may have seen. So if you're going to pull a rope, you need to have whoever's watching you believe that you're actually holding a rope. So a rope has weight. It has certain properties that you want to describe silently with your body. So if I'm going to do the rope, for instance, I'm going to pick the rope up off the ground because it's not going to just be in the air. It's also, I'm going to place my hands in two spots on the imaginary rope, and I'm going to maintain that space between the two hands, right? Kind of like that.
Right.
Because it's not elastic, it's a rope. And let's make it a heavy rope, just give it some, give it a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, right?
Absolutely.
And then is the rope just limp or is it attached to something off,
Oh.
And are you gonna pull it? Now if you're gonna pull it, maybe the thing that you're pulling is resisting you. So creating the illusion of the resistance, well, you got to create that illusion with your body. So
Is this the first ever audio mime lesson?
I like it. Keep going.
I can't think of anybody who's ever had to describe mime on the radio. But
I love it.
If Edgar Bergen can do ventriloquism on the radio, I can try my hand at this. So you're holding the rope in the air. There's resistance on the other side. And if you're going to pull it, well, you're going to move some parts of your body before others. You're going to keep your hands in place, kind of like you did with the box. But now my hands are wrapped around the rope. So I'm going to lean back, but keep my hands in the same spot they were. So I'm going to lean.
Because they're hitting resistance.
Yeah, resistance. And then, if you want to really sell it, when your arms are fully extended, that's when you do a little gentle pull, making sure that the space between your hands maintains the same.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Wow. I'm totally fooling myself right now.
Right?
I'm so good at this. I have found my work.
And Paula, I knew that when I came onto the show that you did have a calling that you could answer.
I feel like I do.
That's why I'm taking my time with you, because I believe in you.
I really appreciate it. All right, so you learn these different traditional things. You study mime with perhaps a mime instructor. Is that correct?
Yeah, I continued to study it. I guess the next great mime teacher I had was in Ringling Brothers Clown College. I studied mime very intensively for months. And I got hired and I did a year on the show. I traveled America on a 1 mile long circus train. And I was a Ringling Brothers circus clown.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so great.
And actually, as a circus clown, mime is incredibly important. Because I wasn't a mime, I was a clown. But I used my mime training as a clown. Which I also I use it as an actor. I use it in everything that I do. I use my mime skills because I know how to control my body and to tell stories using my body. So as a circus clown, you're working enormous arenas, and you need to tell a story visually. So what better way to do that than mime?
Kevin McCarthy uses clowning in his minority leadership status in the Congress, and so you're not the only one who's, and certainly Mitch McConnell does. So that's
and he
good.
is every bit as smart as Charlie McCarthy.
Yeah, in fact, he rivals Mortimer Snurd. All right.
I love Mortimer Snurd. One of my heroes.
Me too.
Where does Paula have to begin, besides with your lesson? What are the steps she has to take to become a full-fledged invisible card-carrying mime?
That's a very good question. Well, you need to spend a lot of time rehearsing. And you got to work in front of a mirror to see yourself, kind of like a magician rehearses in front of a mirror. Well, you're kind of a magician. You're creating illusions and story with your body, and you got to make sure it's working. So working in a mirror is really important. And if you're working as a mime, well, like Pierre the Mime, which is you, which is me. I am the man behind him. He has a very, very pristine makeup. I studied makeup for a very long time. Actually, I almost became a professional makeup artist instead of becoming a performer. But I use all my makeup skills in everything that I do and all the different characters I play.
So does Mitch McConnell.
Exactly.
Exact same.
Exactly.
This is so much related to what's going on politically right now.
Now, I don't want to detour you, but can we talk about that makeup for a minute?
Yeah.
What is behind that classic white pancake commedia dell'arte kind of, what is behind that makeup?
Well, because the makeup kind of neutralizes your face and gives you a blank slate that you can work with. So it kind of erases all the person who is being the mime and gives you kind of a fresh surface to launch your face off of.
Okay, so Paula's got a mirror. Paula has the makeup. Now what?
Well, then the next most important thing is to let your Paula-ness shine through.
Oh.
Because it's the personality of the person that is the most important element of the mime. What you're doing in the mirror, that's you working out, and that's technical. And the makeup is technical, and your costume, all the thought that goes into what you look like is technical. But you got to bring your heart to it. And Paula, you got that in spades. So I really think
Thank you, Peter.
I think this is the next chapter.
But I do want to point out that there's a certain element of Paula-ness that is talking.
And you know what? It's interesting you say that, because there is a certain element of Peter-ness that is talking. None of my friends can believe that I'm able to shut up for more than 5 minutes. So it is kind of astonishing that I've become famous as a mime, because I talk a lot. So there's the other element, Paula, that you have to focus. When I'm in Pierre, something turns on and I become like hyper aware of everything around me, everything that's happening, constantly reading the room, constantly looking for opportunities. Because Pierre, there are mimes that tell written mime stories, plays that are mime plays. That's not my thing. I do guerrilla comedy. I get dropped into crazy situations and I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. I am constantly, I'm scanning every opportunity that is around me. I have 10,000 monkeys at typewriters writing material. And I don't know if it's going to work. But
you're sort of like a Roomba.
Exactly. I'm like that's exactly, yeah. But like the deluxe version, I have to like be really present. And I also can't talk. Also, I have to be very careful not to smear my makeup. But here's really the trick of doing comedic mime is, as the great Stan Laurel of Laurel and Hardy said, if they laugh, it's funny. If they don't laugh, it's not funny. So if they're laughing, just keep doing that.
Boy.
It's like, that's it. It's, you know this. If they're laughing, just keep doing what they're laughing at.
Stan's black and white. He doesn't allow, there's no gray area there. There's no,
Yeah.
Geez, Stan's a little rough.
Well, yeah.
Wax eater.
Wax eater?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a scene where Stan is at Oliver's house and he's waiting. They're going away together.
Sons of the Desert, I believe.
Yeah, yes, it is Sons of the Desert. And Oliver Hardy's wife is very angry about it. And she's yelling at Oliver Hardy. And Stan Laurel is sitting at the kitchen table. And every time she looks over at him, he pulls his hands, onto his lap. And then she looks away again. And he reaches out to the bowl of fruit in the center of the table. And and finally she catches him, with her eyes. And he's been eating waxed fruit. And so she glowers at him and says, wax eater. It's great.
And then the best part,
that's great.
My favorite part, is that after he knows it's wax fruit, he sneaks another bite. The man was a genius. We're not even looking at him when we're laughing. It was funny.
Well, you know what? The great Marcel Marceau once said, mime makes the invisible visible and the visible invisible. At least that's what he told the cop who wanted to know why he wasn't wearing any pants. We'll help Paula into her brand new mime pants when we come back. The cat of the week is Nebula from El Cerrito, California.
We deserve to know what we're putting in our bodies and why, especially when it comes to something we take every day. Ritual's clean, vegan-friendly multivitamin is formulated with high-quality nutrients in bioavailable forms your body can actually use. I've taken Ritual vitamins, and you know what? They have this minty taste. They don't have that weird fishy smell, and they're a capsule that slides right down instead of leaving you with that. Sometimes you take a vitamin and it's got like a gaggy, dusty quality that just stays with you for half the day. It's gaggy.
But not with Ritual. You'll always know what nutrients you're taking and where they come from thanks to Ritual's one-of-a-kind visible supply chain. And now available for women, men, and teens, Ritual multivitamins are scientifically developed to help support different life stages.
Get key nutrients without the BS. Ritual is offering my listeners 10% off during your first 3 months. That's a good deal. Visit ritual.com/Paula to start your ritual today.
That's ritual.com/Paula for 10% off your first 3 months. Start your ritual today. And we're back with Peter Daniel Straus, also known as Pierre the Mime. And, well, before we run ahead with all the lessons in mime, Peter, I just want to touch on really quickly.
Yeah.
You became kind of a nationally known mime thanks to the show Practical Jokers, right?
Impractical Jokers.
Impractical Jokers, yes.
Correct.
You were a penalty. You were a punishment.
I was a punishment, yes. I was a punishment for Brian Q. Quinn, who had failed I forgot what he failed in doing, but he had to be punished, and he hates mimes. So, of course, this punishment was to be handcuffed to a mime for 24 hours, unbeknownst to him. While he was on his way down to Baltimore's Lyric Theater to do 2 sold-out shows in a 2,000-seat theater, he was handcuffed to a mime. So
Wow.
It was insane. I had never done anything like this.
So you had to live as a mime for 24 hours handcuffed to this dude while being filmed.
Not only that, but I was told by the other 3 guys to be as annoying as possible. So I really kicked it up a notch and was as annoying as possible. And when he couldn't take it, then I would, of course, become a puppy. And by the end of the 24 hours, we became good friends. But that was a long time to not talk, especially for me.
Yeah, I'm
It's
sure.
like Midnight Run, except for it was,
Yeah.
You know what I don't understand, Peter?
Yeah.
Marceau was the most famous mime, right? He was very popular and very well respected.
He was so popular, he actually had, there's an LP. He put out an album.
Oh, that's a riot. Well, when and why then did people start saying they hated mimes? Like, mimes aren't like a rash. Mimes are easily avoided if you don't like them. So there's no...
I'm 1,000 years old, and so, Paula, you may remember this. In the 70s, mime was really cool.
Yes.
You would go to a city park and you would see a mime, and people were like, oh, look, there's a mime. Let's go see the mime.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
People love mime. And then there was an hour-long TV show called Shields and Yarnell. It was a mime-based television show. And I think what happened, because that was the height of the mime craze. And I think people suddenly realized, why the fuck are we watching this? And they suddenly hated mimes.
Okay, but I would still argue that you could just not watch television on that channel that night. And I know that back then we only had like 3 channels, but nonetheless, it's different than if you were watching a show that you liked, right? So you're watching Gunsmoke, and all of a sudden, for Christ's sakes, it's preempted by Shields and Yarnell. Then you'd have a reason.
This episode has been interrupted. Breaking news. There's a mime in Central Park. Let's go live.
Yeah, that would be upsetting.
I would see that. Yeah.
I feel like it just became this cool thing to say, like, I hate mimes. Like, really?
And it's easy to insult someone who can't talk back.
Well, that's the other thing. Yeah.
So I think that's when it jumped the shark, as we say.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to mime loving.
All right. Yeah.
I want to get back to mime loving. I want to talk about Paula's training regimen. Paula?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So you told us about the box, the cool thing about isolating your hands.
Well, no, that made a wall.
Oh, excuse me, my mistake.
That was the first plane of the box would be one side of your box, which is a wall.
If you could see me right now, I'm making sort of a lower hip movement, and then I'm pointing to the ceiling. At first, I point to me. Then I make a lower hip movement, and then I point up. And what that means is my fuck up, my mistake. So go ahead.
More of a sign language thing, isn't it?
Yeah. It would normally be done silently, but we're not looking at each other. Okay, so that was a wall. Tell me how to make it into a box.
So, okay, to make a box, well, we'll make it easy. We'll just assume that it's 4 equal walls. So if it's a small box, all you have to do is just turn 90 degrees to your next wall, right? And then you place your hands. And here's what you do with your hands. So place your hands on the wall that was just in front of you.
Right.
So your fingers are spread.
Yeah.
Got it.
They're in the same plane, like an imaginary wall.
Uh-huh.
Pull one of your hands away from the wall and let it relax. Let it go limp.
Okay.
And then place it back exactly where it was and have it splat wide open. Splat open.
Oh, that's
back.
so cool.
And then do the other hand, relax it, pull it away from the wall, and splat it back on the wall. And now go up and down or side to side. Just move your hands around. Relax, splat, relax, splat, relax, splat. And then you can also change the orientation of your hands.
I love that.
Just splat, right? Look at that. You have an instant wall, right?
Yeah.
Now, if you turn 90 degrees, you can do the same thing in that wall. But you want to hear a secret?
Yeah.
Yes.
Here's how you make it look really good.
Yeah.
I don't tell this to just everybody, but if you want to make this look like a box, you start with the first wall, you splat your hands around, and you move your body a little bit side to sides, and your hands are not moving at all, right?
Yeah.
And then, instead of just moving to the next wall at a 90 degree, take the hand that's farthest away from that wall and cross it over the hand and arm that's that's
yeah.
closer to that
Although
wall.
it's really hard to keep the.
Paula, keep it still. You can do it. I believe in you.
Yeah, it's really hard to
Focus.
keep the plane.
Oh my God.
So now you are crossing your arms, and the person watching you imagines in their mind where that corner is.
Oh, yeah.
You're selling the illusion, and then once your arm is crossed, then you take the remaining arm off that first wall and you place it on your new wall.
The person watching me
Oh
is
my God, I did it.
flipping
Rinse
out.
and repeat. You can do it with all your walls, and you can change the length of your walls. They could go across the whole room, as long as you are keeping your hands isolated in space while you are moving the rest of your body. It looks like they're on a wall. And if you don't know what the hell I'm talking about, just go find an actual wall and place your hands on the wall and practice that way.
This is fantastic.
Wow.
I'm loving doing this. Now, Peter,
Yeah.
as a stand-up comic, to develop
Yeah.
timing and develop an audience, you do open mic nights, right? That's how you practice. You can't practice in an empty room. It doesn't work that way.
No.
Do mimes do open mic nights? Would they go on at like a comedy club? Is there a place with like a imaginary brick wall behind the stage where you guys all agree on where the wall is?
There's no saying that you couldn't find a comedy club that might let you in if they're not mime haters. But going back to the 1970s, I mean, people used to just like go outside on the street or
Yes.
the park, and you could actually be kind of bad and start practicing and figure it out back then.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, you're right.
But now the public are not so forgiving. You got to be good to start. So, sure, you might find a comedy club or an alternative, probably a more alternative comedy venue that might let you do it. But we are in the world of TikTok and YouTube and Instagram. Like, you can make videos and get it out there, and if people are digging it, then
the only way to be really
it's
successful on TikTok is with baby goats. But I could see where if I
baby
if I
worms.
got good at doing that.
I'm going to go with baby goats. Baby goats.
All right, let's bring it back to Paula's training.
Yeah.
Now, are you going to have to be her Burgess Meredith, like her Mick, and train her?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, like, how physically demanding is this? Because Paula's been getting fit.
Oh, really? Paula, what do you do to get fit?
Well, I do a little workout regimen a couple times a day. Nothing enormous. The whole goal of it is simply to build. It's based on push-ups from the start. I just wanted to be able to do push-ups.
Wow.
And yeah.
Paula, I don't know. I mean, do you feel flexible? Do you do any yoga, for instance?
I don't do yoga. And by the way, it's banned in some Alabama schools. I can.
But you did Taekwondo for years.
I did do Taekwondo for years.
Wow.
I can kick my feet up over my head, not at the same time, because
I can't do that.
No, you shouldn't do that at the same time.
I can kick a foot up over my head and then the other foot up over my head. Yeah.
Wow. That's amazing. I would love to see that.
I'm somewhat flexible.
You sound very flexible. Paula, you are clearly very physically fit and able to do lots of things with your body. But even if you're not, you work with what you got. Even if you can't get out of a chair, if you can move your hands, you can do
I
something.
could be Francis the restricted mime.
Yeah.
I could just not be very flexible.
Yeah.
I want to say, whenever you've been talking us through any of this stuff, I've been doing it.
I love that.
And I just hope somewhere in traffic right now, someone is doing this in their car and someone else is looking at them at a red light.
At a red light, yes.
Yes.
Well,
do not drive in mime, please.
Well, Peter, this has been fantastic.
Yes.
Before you go, where can people find your stuff?
If your fans wanted to learn more about me and the weird stuff I do, go to my website, pierrethemime.com. I have a shop with some fun products. I'm going to give your fans a 10% discount on. Codename Paula is the promo code. Paula.
Thank you so much. This has been so much fun.
It has, and it was excellent. But now, Peter, what we're going to do is we're going to take all the information that you've given us, and we're going to run it through the old Poundstonator, as we call it.
Oh, it's so exciting.
Yeah, here we go. Paula?
House band Zack Ford, this piano music has been so terrific. It sounded like a complete orchestra, let alone our house band, so thank you. If I could trouble you for a little background music, I'll tell you what the old Poundstonator spit out. Peter Daniel Straus, I can't thank you enough for instructing me on a life of mime. I think you've steered me down the right path, which is so important at my impressionable age. I mean, right now, I'm leaning on a wall. No, It's a box. I'm in a box. How am I going to get out of here? Oh, I'll use this rope. I'm pulling the rope, pulling myself out of the box. Wait, here's some stairs. I'm climbing the stairs. Oh, look, there's a balloon, a beautiful yellow balloon up in the sky. I'll grab the string and whoa, I'm about to float away. Fuck! Jesus! Fuck! Thanks a lot, Peter. I could have been killed.
Well, Paula, what do you think? Could you do it? Could you be a mime? And remember, you can't talk.
Adam, on July 3rd, I'm going to have the great pleasure of performing stand-up comedy in Boone, North Carolina at the Appalachian Summer Arts Festival, Appalachian University Schaefer Center for the Performing Arts.
All right.
And on July 24th, I'll be in Lincoln, Nebraska at the Lead Center for the Performing Arts, performing stand-up comedy.
He's Pierre the Mime. Thank you so much, my good friend Peter, Daniel Straus. This has been a great reunion.
Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Paula. Thanks, Bonnie. Thanks, Tony.
Coming up next, True Confessions, Food Edition, Listener Edition.
When it comes to treating fine lines, dark spots, and other signs of aging, your unique skin deserves unique care. My skin is so entirely unique. I did used to have a spot near my hairline. It looked like Australia. And I've used Agency's skin stuff. I believe that's the correct technical term. They sent me the stuff and instructions, and you know what? I didn't think that Australia was going to go away, but I have to tell you, it did.
Well, you know what? I got to say, if I could tell my past self anything from a skincare perspective, first and foremost, it would be riding that unicycle on a tightrope over a vat of acid is not a good idea. But anyway, starting off with Agency today is easy. You just upload photos of your skin and tell Agency about yourself. Tell them what your problems are. Tell them whether you have the dark spots, whether you have the Australia, whether you have dry skin. Next, Agency matches you with a licensed dermatology provider who creates a custom formula with research-backed ingredients just for you.
Do what I did and try out Agency, the personalized anti-aging skincare that evolves with you. Go to withagency.com/Paula for a free 30-day trial. Just pay $4.95 for shipping and handling. That's withagency.com/Paula to unlock your free 30-day trial. See withagency.com for all the details, subject to consultation.
If you're going to do it anyway, use our code.
Self-care and routine are more important than ever. Whatever you're using to get ready for the day should make you feel amazing. This is hard for me. For many years, I've gone to a leg shaving support group. And many of us just have had some very bad experiences with leg shaving. Not able to get through the forest. That's one issue. Just scraping, cutting, patchy. I want to thank you all for listening. Well, I'll tell you something. The support group is breaking up because this Billy shaver is unbelievable.
That's right. Meet Billy, the best razor out there for those days when you want an extra smooth shave. And there's no pink tax. As a guy who does a lot of shopping in his house, I appreciate it because buying razors for Jeannie is so much different price-wise from buying razors for me, and it shouldn't be. No visit to the drugstore, no breaking the bank. You can go to mybilly.com to get their starter kit for just $9. It's so affordable and includes their award-winning razor, 2 refill blades, and a cult favorite magnetic holder.
Now, when I first heard about mybilly.com, I thought I was getting a goat. But this, I've gotten a razor, a leg shaver. I've gotten these really terrific wipes that take off makeup. Lickety split, ladies and gentlemen. And I hate messing around with all that stuff. So I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah, we've had them around here too. It's a good-looking razor that apparently it lasts a long time. Yeah, you might actually be able to shave a goat with it. Go to mybilly.com to meet the razor that made everyone start talking about razors. They're an Allure Best of Beauty winner and on Nylon's beauty hit list for a reason.
Have you heard about Billy? No, have you heard about Billy? I've heard about Billy. Have you heard about Billy? It's a shaver, isn't it? Oh, and makeup wipes. And to express a little love for our show, go to mybilly.com/Paula. It's a small way you can support us while getting the best razor you'll ever own.
It's just $9 to get your starter kit, plus free shipping. Always go to mybilly.com/Paula. It's spelled mybillie.com/Paula.
If you're going to try it anyway, use our code.
Fun fact, fortune telling is illegal in Maryland, which is why if you consult a magic 8-ball there, it says, answer hazy, piss off. And we're back. Oh, Paula, this is an exciting time to be alive, isn't it?
Yeah. Adam,
Yes.
answer the phone.
You don't want me to answer the phone.
Answer the phone.
Hello?
Hello, Adam. It's me, Gladys Pilgrim. I know your book club is looking for a new book to read, and the Lord has made it possible for me to bring you my new book just when you need it.
Oh, hi, Gladys Pilgrim. I didn't realize you'd written a book. You told me before that Trump was going to put you on the Supreme Court. Is it a book about broken promises and disappointment?
Why, no. I'm still all set to be on President Trump's Supreme Court, Adam. My book is about America's future. It's called Q is for Quit Now. You know Trump is president.
No. Trump is not president anymore. And you were anticipating on being on the Supreme Court months ago.
Adam, when the Lord and Q and Donald J. Trump are at work together, don't mark anything in your calendar in pen. President Trump will be restored to his rightful place in due time, and I will be placed on the Supreme Court where I will limit abortion rights to no time after the man has moaned with pleasure leading up to copulation. Yeah. How many copies of Quit Now, You Know Trump is President, will you be buying?
Gladys, we haven't made our selection yet, and we vote on our book choice.
I get what you mean, wink, wink. What? You come on by the Supreme Court, and I'll slip the books to you from under my robe.
You're not on the Supreme Court.
I've got to go, Adam. I got another call. This could be it.
Wow, so that happened, and now we can get back to what we were doing, which is, Paula, remember last week? Can you cast your mind back to last week when we were doing our new segment, True Confessions, the food edition, you and me and Tony all confessed to these weird food habits that we had, and Bonnie didn't really do the assignment, but it was entertaining nonetheless.
Yes, I do recall that.
That isn't true.
Yeah, it is.
It's completely true.
Yeah.
Okay, whatever.
You told some barely tangentially related tales, and it was kind of like if in elementary school you were taking a math test, and the question was, Bob has 2 apples. He gave one to Mary. How many apples does Bob have? And you said, Mary seems like a nice girl.
Yeah, well, I didn't have a lot to talk about, but here's a really quick tip. You could buy non-fat powdered milk, so it has no extra ingredients. Then you put it in your coffee or tea, and it doesn't make it any colder. Now, thank you very much for that tip.
But that, again, Bonnie, completely unrelated to what we're doing.
Yeah, Mary seems like a nice girl. Mary seems like a very nice girl.
Wow. Well, with that, we got so many responses from our listeners that were so much more on topic than Bonnie Burns that we had to shunt it off to this week to do True Confessions, Food Edition, Listener Edition.
Yay!
Woo!
Yay! Gobble, 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 gobble.
I don't know what just happened with Bonnie Burns, but
I love Bonnie's songs.
gobble, gobble,
Sing
gobble.
again.
I mean, I get what she was going for.
Encore.
Yeah.
Well, I'll give you this, Bonnie. It's very specific to the edition that we're doing. So I'm in favor.
Yeah. Very
Okay, there
specific.
you go.
Very specific. All right. So, Paul, let's get into some of our listeners' weird food habits and practices. Beth Johnson, Kent, says, I lick Doritos. I rarely eat the chip. Just throw away the licked chips. It drives my kids crazy.
That would drive me crazy. That is so weird, Beth.
Yeah, it's pretty weird. And I got to tell you, I know somebody else who does that. And I hate to rat her out, but Paula, as you know, one of the things about being a parent is your kid leaves food over and you eat it, right? Because you don't want to waste it, and you eat it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I started occasionally a year or so ago. I would find that my daughter had left over Cheetos or potato chips, and I would pop them into my mouth, and they'd be soggy.
Oh, no.
Yes. It turned out that Vivian was doing what Beth Johnson Kent was doing, and it was horrifying.
Raising cattle?
No, licking the flavor off the chips.
Licking the chip. Oh.
Yeah.
No, this is an upsetting behavior, Beth Johnson Kent.
Yes, indeed.
As much as I love Barbara Streisand, if it turned out that she licked Doritos and then threw away the chips, I think it would really put a wedge between us. You know?
Yeah, it might.
Papa, can you see me? Papa, can you see me?
Babs, why?
Yeah, I don't like it.
Anyway.
Yeah. People who lick Doritos are the lickiest people I know.
All right, let's move on. Susan Harris Dorsey writes us just 3 words. Pizza and mayo.
Oh.
To which I have 3 words. That's fucking gross.
That sounds good.
I eat fake mayonnaise now. I don't eat real mayonnaise. But the truth is, the reason I bother with fake mayonnaise is that I like mayonnaise. So I might like that. But it sounds unnecessarily, I don't need the calories.
Yeah, it definitely seems like I've decided that my arteries need to be punished.
Yeah, not unless I'm going to be Lauren the Limited Mime.
Like, it's not enough for me to cram pizza into my body, but like I'm going to put mayonnaise on that.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to smoke a pack of Camels.
Yeah. I might put some sugar on it, to be honest. That could be
What?
good, but sugar's good on everything.
On pizza?
It could be. Yeah, it really could be, because you get the savory and the sweet and savory.
All right, Louis Lustman says, I used to love eating a bowl of
That's not a name.
Yes, it is.
Nobody's named Lustman. That's ridiculous.
His name is Louis Lustman, and
Lustman.
until just now, he's a fan of ours.
Louis Lustman. I'm telling you, your name is Louis Lustman. By God, you go to a judge and you have your name changed. Louis Lustman.
Yeah, it's his name.
What kind of a name is that?
What kind of a host are you that you're making fun of our listeners' names?
Well, my last name is Poundstone.
Yeah.
It deserves a fair amount of derision, but Lustman.
You're right.
Yeah.
Lustman's a little strange. But he said that I used to love eating a bowl of peanuts covered in whipped cream.
Ah, that's 2 gross things.
You don't like peanuts or whipped cream?
Well, it's a great... by the way, let me just say that these submissions are really great Weird Food Edition True Confessions.
Absolutely.
Because a bowl of peanuts covered in whipped cream, that is... And it's by Louis Lustman. That's got to be a joke. That's ridiculous.
It's not a joke. Let's move on.
I think it is.
Katie Grady says, I eat popcorn like a lunatic. I go 1 kernel at a time, biting off the crispy little kernely bits and saving the puffy bits in a little dish to enjoy separately at the end. It's a textural extravaganza.
Wow. See, I don't like the crispy little kernely bits. I would do it the other way around.
Well, she's saving the puffy bits for last.
Right, but the kernely bits, that's the part that gets stuck like in the back of your throat, and you can be going like...
Oh, those little husks,
days?
yeah.
Yeah, oh, Jesus. Yeah. In fact, I'll tell you something. It was the worst part of Moby Dick for Bonnie.
Which was?
the popcorn. The little hulls of the popcorn. That was the really hard part.
For Bonnie to get past, yes.
Precisely. She didn't even watch the movie. She just ate the popcorn. I know her.
I got it. Eric Martinez Ortega says, I dip my hot Cheetos in cream cheese. Now, Eric, that is innovative, but I would say that's not gross.
I don't know how you could dip them in cream cheese, quite honestly, because the hot Cheeto itself is not really stable enough from an engineering point of view. Cream cheese is a stiff substance.
I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that Eric Martinez Ortega goes ahead and buys the whipped cream cheese like we do in this household.
Oh,
it
that's
spreads a lot easier, and I could see you taking a flaming hot Cheeto, just dipping it in the. Nobody else can use that cream cheese, so I presume that Eric Martinez Ortega lives alone.
Well, no, you know what he could do?
What?
He could take a little bit of whipped cream cheese and put it in a little dish and dip it.
Oh.
You don't have to contaminate the entire container of whipped cream cheese.
Entirely right, Paula Poundstone.
Thank goodness you don't work in the school cafeteria.
Yes.
What does Tanya Trombley do?
She says, plain penne pasta al dente with canned tuna. Survived on that all through undergrad, and it's still one of my go-tos when I'm starving and lack imagination.
Oh.
Well, you're just making a tuna noodle casserole and kind of not really going for it.
Fancying it up by calling it penne pasta al dente. I used to make Kraft macaroni and cheese and put a can of tuna in there and then a can of peas. And, I opened the cans. But it was delicious. It was really delicious. And I lived off that for a whole week. So guess what, Tanya? You don't have to go to college to eat tuna casserole.
feel like Tanya's taking a little too much of your ire here, Paula.
Tanya, guess what? I ate uneducated tuna casserole. How about that?
I would say, Tanya, just add some seasoning and cheese and you actually have a tuna noodle casserole.
Yum. You know what else you could do, Tanya? You could scrape the orange shit off Beth Johnson Kent's tongue when she licked the Doritos, and then use that for your orange stuff. Thank you, Beth Johnson Kent, for holding on to that orange stuff. Okay, go ahead. What did Bob Edgar eat?
He's disappointing here. Corn mixed into mashed potatoes. Well, Bob, everybody who's had corn next to mashed potatoes has had corn with mashed potatoes.
Oh, apparently Bob was one of those kids who made a firm rule. I was like that when I was little. I could not tolerate one food touching another.
Oh, so for Bob, this is a walk on the wild side.
Yeah, so Bob had never experienced this before.
None of the rules apply tonight. I'm putting corn in my mashed potatoes.
Whoa. How drunk were you when you came up with that idea, Bob? Corn and mashed potatoes. Yeah. You know what I like in mashed potatoes?
What's that?
I like to make a little hole in the center of my mashed potato blob and fill it with fake butter. And then seal it up again. Oh. And then years and years later, many years later, somebody will be walking across my kitchen table and find it.
Tony Anita Hull just moaned in an unseemly fashion right there. She loves that idea. Almost too much, I think.
That is disgusting.
She's making herself ready for Louis Lessman.
Bonnie doesn't like it. Bonnie, you don't like that idea, huh?
How is that disgusting?
No, I think, boy, Paula, and who eats mayonnaise? That is the most disgusting food. Isn't it like egg yolks and oil or something?
I eat fake mayonnaise now.
What's in fake mayonnaise?
I have no idea. That's one of the things about me.
Wow.
I don't know.
I eat veganese. It's vegan. That's what I eat.
Oh, well, that's probably good.
Yeah,
that's probably good.
It's fantastic. It's full of sugar.
Yeah.
Bonnie, you hate mayonnaise, huh?
Who, me? Oh, no, I wouldn't go near mayonnaise.
Yeah. And Bonnie, let me ask you, what is your ethnic background?
What is my ethnic background?
Right.
Why do you need to know that?
I have a reason for... I'm asking because I come from a Jewish background, and Jews don't eat mayonnaise.
Oh, I get it.
Oh, is that true?
Okay, but this is really gross. Nothing against my family at all. But we grew up, for some reason, my mom put mayonnaise in her chopped liver. Isn't that like what you don't do when you're Jewish?
No, yeah, your mom, if we had excommunication, she would have been excommunicated. I could think of certain rabbis that would invent Jewish excommunication just to throw your mom out for that chopped liver and mayonnaise business.
Do you remember that great song from Fiddler on the Roof? If I had some mayonnaise, I'd put it in my chopped liver.
That's why Tevye gets so upset when his daughter marries the Cossack, because he's like, there's going to be mayonnaise in my family.
Yeah, he knows coleslaw's coming his way.
Yeah.
You know, when I first met Paula, and like you were at a coffee shop or something where we got together in the beginning and I mapped out her career on paper napkins. Mm-hmm. She used to open up those sugar packets and just pound them down her mouth.
Yeah.
Like 3 or 4 at a time.
Yeah, but I wasn't eating mayo.
All right, no, but
May I
Good
interrupt
point.
really quickly?
Yes.
Please.
yeah.
So I Googled, do Jews eat mayo? And
Of course you did. Of course you did that.
The first commercial mayonnaise was invented by a New York Jew.
Probably Hellman.
There you go.
Yeah, no. It's not that Jews don't ever mess with mayonnaise. It's just that people who are not Jews tend to think like that's what you put on a ham and cheese sandwich as opposed to mustard. You know, there's just the use of mayonnaise is excessive outside. As far as Jews are concerned, outside of the Jewish world, there's just too much mayonnaise.
I see.
I want to make sure that people send their complaints to Adam Felber. He's the one that said all the things about Jewish people and how much mayonnaise they eat.
For complaints about Adam Felber, email us at nobodylistens-to-paula-poundstone@gmail.com.
What is happening? This is insurrection. Anyway, Logan Noonan says, my mom pre-toasts all her toast for the week on Sunday. Logan, have your mom listen to the OCD episode from 2 weeks ago.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. She pre-toasts it. That's, you know what, Logan? Now you know what it's like to get food from room service. Breakfast from room service. It's always cold toast. Always.
Yeah.
But she pre-toasts it, meaning she puts it, so it's double toasted, right?
Or she puts it in the microwave to re-energize it. Yeah.
Yeah, but then you got to eat fast because it hardens.
Yeah. No, that's weird.
Boy. All right. So you know what that tells us?
What?
Don't go visit Mrs. Noonan on Sunday. She's busy pre-toasting.
And don't visit her on Saturday because you're getting 6-day-old toast.
Right. That's a good point right there. Yeah.
You got to visit her on Monday. That's really your only hope.
Yeah, you're getting 6-day-old, twice toasted toast.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's got to be.
Saturday dinner, I won't be there.
She's got to end up with a lot of worm food that day. A lot of worm
Absolutely.
compost on Saturday's toast.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is True Confessions, Food Edition, Audience Edition.
These were great, weird food things.
Gobble, gobble, gobble. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
Yeah. I don't know how we're going to top food with our next True Confessions thing, but that was fantastic.
You know,
True Confessions.
Bonnie kept
Audio version.
telling me that she wanted to find some old radio music from like a show called The Whistler, she said, where they start out going, who is the Whistler? And I said, but Bonnie, the problem with that is that that's from a mystery show. And this isn't a mystery show. This is people talking about what kind of weird food things they do. And she said, what about if we use the music from The Whistler, where they go, who is the Whistler? I had to repeat to her over and over why that didn't make any sense. And in the end, she's probably going to send you guys an email tonight. She really wants to use the Whistler music.
No, this was my point. What I was saying to her was, I thought we could have a theme song. It goes like this. It goes, da, 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 da. I am the Whistler. But then we could do it like this. Da, 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 da. True Confessions.
But do you see my point?
Food edition.
That's if you're confessing to a crime. It's not the same thing.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I'm going to fight
but-
my way out of this segment somehow. I'm stuck in a box.
It took hours, Adam. It took hours.
All right,
And
nobody.
she's still clinging to the idea.
If you have questions or comments, or you want to bitch about how we run our book club, or maybe you have some idea for a great radio-themed theme song to the True Confession segment, send those ideas to nobodylistens@gmail.com. Now, Paula Poundstone, besides the incredible and endless work that we're doing on our True Confession theme song, what else is going on in your Poundstone product empire this week?
Adam, Poundstone Industries, also known as Lipstick Nancy Incorporated, is performing beyond expectations. I believe it's because it's such a supportive work environment. I mean, we have our problems, of course, but we work them out by listening to one another.
We shall now hear arguments in the case of Wendell versus Poundstone Industries.
I encourage listeners to go on my website, paulapoundstone.com, and just mess around. There's comedy videos, revealing photos, my remarkably soft tri-poly blend t-shirts available, and you can click on the tour page to find out when I'll be performing at a live theater near you. Listeners can order a custom-made video message from me to their friend or loved one at cameo.com/PaulaP33. That's cameo.com/PaulaP33. There's so much more to tell you, but Heidi.
Yeah, Heidi, I would love to tell you about my run for the U.S. Senate, which I'm announcing this week, but I can't. Thanks, Heidi. Anyway, subscribe to this podcast. It's free. You'll get it every week at no charge and no obligations. If there's a subject or topic you want to know about, again, just tell us. Nobody listens to Paula Poundstone at gmail.com is that address, and that is our show. Nobody Listens to Paula Poundstone is hosted by Paula the Poundstone and yours truly, Adam the Felber. Special thanks to our guest, Daniel Straus, a.k.a. Pierre the Mime.
Yay! Yeah.
Thanks to our house band, Zack Ford.
Yay!
Yeah.
Our show is produced by Paula Poundstone, Adam Felber, Bonnie Birds, Kendall Zebnik, and Tony Anita Hull. Intern is Carly Patron.
Yay!
Starburns production by Land Romo and Sam Dunwald. Transcription services for the show provided by Transcribe Me, a premier internationally used transcription service. Use code Paula Poundstone when placing your order at transcribeme.com to receive an expedited service.
Realizing only a modest
Yay!
average income, quite in keeping with their operations of a few air.
What the fuck?
Sorry.
That's our show for tonight. Won't somebody please listen to me? Adam, I didn't know you were running for Senate.
Oh, I don't like to talk about it, but yeah.
Huh? How does it work? Do you have to have a certain amount of signatures to put your name on the ballot?
Yeah, I gotta get the signatures.
Yeah. And don't you have to know something about the issues? Is that going to come up?
Yeah, I gotta learn about those issues, yep.
Huh. Well, other than that, I think it's a great idea. So you got to get, handlers or something?
Yeah, I gotta go find some handlers and stuff, yep. Gotta find
Okay.
some handlers.
All right. Yeah. I got to say, I feel like it's Rain Man running for Senate.
Yeah, definitely like Rain Man. Definitely. Yeah, Senate.
It's a very good Rain Man.
Starburns Audio.
A podcast network.